two city clerk candidates, one of which was not able to be here today, but she had a death in the family. Her aunt passed away. Her son, Kevin, is here to read a statement on her behalf. Go ahead, Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, John.
And by the way, I apologize. I noticed your name is not spelled correctly there, so we apologize for that.
That's actually new. I've never seen that spelling we made. It's never spelled correctly, but never that way either, so at least it's original. As John mentioned, my mother apologizes for not being here. Sadly, there was a death in the family, and she had to attend the funeral. As I couldn't hop onto the plane very well because of the crutches, I was nominated to be here. She was enthusiastic about joining you, and thanks to Residents Association for this opportunity. So I will read her document. Remember, this is her voice, not mine, so some of these things that happened before I was born, I'm not saying. Having spent 52 years in El Segundo, my mother has seen many things change and grow, some for the better, some not so much. Many of us know about the strawberry fields and the oil wells, Mines Field. She remembers landmark moments like the building of the tunnel under the airport. Things such as mailboxes on one side of the street as the mail was delivered by a small right-hand drive postal service truck. When Bungalow Street between Holly and Grand didn't exist, it was actually just a pile of dirt. She remembers it being fun dirt at that. When it rained, you needed a boat to cross Mariposa and Center Street to get to school, as with many other low spots in town. She remembers Dick's Coffee Shop on Main Street, where every high school kid went after school buying a cherry or vanilla Coke, or if they were brave, a suicide. And as she says, the ever-present French fries. She doesn't think she's had better since. Baseball parades were as big as the Christmas parade, with the queen and princess for every league, Little League, Pony League, Babe Ruth, and even the high school baseball team participated. Girls rode in cars with pretty dresses instead of marching with the boys in the street. She watched Recreation Park being built, and of course the golf course, schools opening, closing, and sometimes reopening again, carnivals in the City Hall parking lot, which is now the Plaza, grocery stores becoming teen centers or banks or antique shops, and the dime store disappearing forever. All these things she grew up with were good, but progress has pushed aside old haunts and put in their places new haunts for the next and the next and the next generations, and it will continue long after she's gone, and this is good too. She's just trying to explain how much this town means to her and our family. It has offered a very safe haven for her. Charlie Porter made sure of that. And Charlie and Officer Bose took care of my generation of Morrison kids. Then Jack Waite and Tim Grimmond came along and finished it up. And now the grandkids have Dave Cummings and his crew watching out for them. This town provides so much to each and every one of us. The favorites may be different, but we all cherish the memories. This is how, in my mother's way, she asked for your support for her 5th term as city clerk. She loves this job, she loves the people, she loves the town, and she loves serving it. Many things have changed in City Hall in the 16 years of her service, including the introduction and integration of the internet and various websites, public access to agendas and backup materials, resolutions, ordinances, the integration of technology into the minutes, the list goes on and on. Where computers were, when she began, a luxury, they're now a mainstay. You cannot do your work without them, and her office certainly is an example of that. One very vital, very important thing that we have in the city clerk's office that has developed during her 16 years is people who deeply care about the El Segundo citizens. She asks that continue, asks for your vote, but most of all, that you vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. And candidate Hart, the last candidate before we go to our break for city clerk.
Thank you. I, like the rest of the city, I'm sure, shares in the grief that Cindy Morrison has for her aunt. I'm certainly no stranger to grief and to people dying around me.
And Hart, can you pull the microphone a little closer to you? There you go.
This is a two-person race, and as such, and I running against a incumbent must question what she has done, or how she's done it, if she's done it right. It's a little hard to do if she's not here. I will talk a little bit about it, but I won't be as defined as I would have been if she were here. I originally entered the race because I was bothered, and I bothered about the fact that I consider that we have an absentee city clerk in the city of El Segundo. The last 8 years, Cindy Morrison has held a full-time job in the city clerk's office of the city of Redondo Beach. They are open and also closed the exact same times, the same overlay as the city of El Segundo. He's not really here to administer the city clerk's office. She talks about deeply loves serving El Segundo, but she's not here. When she's not here, her staff runs the office. The staff is excellent as such, but there are things that being the elected city clerk brings to the office. The staff as such is accountable to the city manager, not to the city clerk. The city clerk is accountable to the people. And when we have a question or a problem as it relates to differences as far as whose priority and such is that, the clerk has to remember that her boss is the people and that they're responsible directly to the people, residents or business or whatever. You can't run the city clerk's office effectively at arm's length. Originally, I thought that all I was going to do is talk about the fact that I was going to give the city of El Segundo a chance to whether they wanted a full-time, if they wanted a clerk who was going to be there and take care of their needs, or they were accepting the fact that the only time she showed up really was an hour twice a month, council meetings. Since then, I've found that there are various problems that can be addressed. I must stop this time.
Okay, thank you, candidate Hart, and thank you all candidates. We've now finished the first round. We're exactly on time, and we'll take a 5-minute break, and we need to keep to our schedule. So this is an opportunity for the audience to write questions, and I've been asked to remind you to address the questions to a specific candidate. Those that are addressed to everybody will either be not chosen or will be chosen for a particular candidate that, of the choice of the committee. So 5-minute break.